Hey folks, welcome to the market internal reviews for June 15th, 2023. Immense trending day today up on the buyer's side. We had an insane bull day today. Not much of a move at open, just a slight gap down. We showed a very strong add and volt bands right here at the open with the 20 SMA trends giving quite a clear signal. That being said, the trend was nowhere to be seen, and we had this tick average closures under zero. It didn't take long for the buying to start, breaking that standard deviation high on the first standard deviation. And then we started to clear yesterday's range rather fast. Now, if you were somebody that's apt to grab these first standard deviation breaks on the session TWAP, you could have grabbed some immense profits. If you're somebody that likes to see a little bit of a retest, a little bit of cooling off, then I think a more logical placement for a trade maybe would have been at this high of previous day. So you can see right where the session TWAP retest was is right around that previous high of day. And of course, given the immense move we had, that provided ample opportunity for the upside today. And then you also notice that right around this retest, this session TWAP is right where trend was showing an imbalance, right? So it's establishing that sentiment for a potential move in either direction. And after that, you just want to look at the add and volt bands, take a look at their trends and understand where all the tick closures are showing you that the potential direction is. And in this case, I mean, most of this is just screaming bullishness and buying. Every one of these pullbacks here on tick low would have been potentially an entry based off of the standard deviations and session TWAP. You maybe could have improved your entry and really nailed a perfect entry. Definitely took advantage of the moves today across the entire market session, off and on. Just a phenomenal buy day, and we saw an immense amount of closures and highs over on the bullish side. So if you're ever trying to figure out what a good day to trade for like market internals and just everything's so clear, it's a very, I guess, easy day. This is the kind of day to look at, right? Is when you have an upside. The alignment is spot on with the internals, and we have all these clear signals here. Obviously, not every day is going to be like this when there's still opportunities present, but this is definitely the easiest kind of day. If you wait for something like this to manifest early in the morning, and we see this strong trend imbalance indication with a perfect location on the price itself, this is definitely something that you'd want to keep an eye out for in the future if you missed any of the opportunities today. I'm sure there will be more. If we take a look at the tick levels, you can see they're rather distributed today, and they're all on the upside, which makes sense. We had a trending day today, so nothing really extraordinary here. This is not a range day, so these kinds of levels are only going to provide as a means for re-entry if you missed a particular move in the beginning. So look here, we've got this previous high a day range. We get this session TWAP retest here. Trend showing an imbalance, making room for possible upside move per the add and volt band showing green right at a tick level here. So this could be a perfect potential area for support or resistance to look for acceptance and confirmation of this price, and then away we go, right? And you can use the TWAP session standard deviation bands, second and third, the first as a way to manage your trade. You can use the session TWAP as a trail stop, just whatever suits your needs best. But yeah, just an incredible day today, and so much here from the indicator side that definitely helped me capitalize on today's movement. Taking a look at the weekly TWAP here, we can see a very strong buy, bouncing right into that. What is that? The second deviation here, standard deviation on the weekly time frame. We even managed to break out at this point towards the end of the day, where we just started to see every retest bought back up, and then some new highs constantly being made. We top out, I mean, dang near right at 440. I think the high here is 443. 440.9. I think I said 440. I meant 444. That's a mouthful, but almost to the tick before we start to see a dip back into that standard deviation area. Take a look at monthly here. Wow. Okay, so the past video I mentioned how price will stay within a standard deviation zone from my observations here on these higher time frame TWAPs, and we see this immense sell-off back down towards the bottom of the first standard deviation. We wick hard reject right on the top of the second deviation back below, right? Then we get this drive that pushes us beyond previous high a day, breaks us and supports right on the second deviation high for the monthly time frame. And then look here, this was our tick level retest as well as session TWAP retest right here. See all this convergence? This stuff, I continue to see this alignment. Just incredible, right where trend is starting to show an imbalance. So for me personally, using the market internals, this particular trifecta is just a really high confidence setup. So this was a very exciting thing to see today. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Qs. Okay, Qs much had the same kind of day. We even see a tick, a TWAP retest right here at the exact same time. The one thing I had noticed was that the Qs saw a little bit more of a gap down before we had a buy. Well, gap down, but also a sell. So notice how we actually tested previous session TWAP before we went. So while SPY was already breaking the standard deviation high, the first standard deviation high, the Qs actually were only starting to break TWAP on the session and saw overall a lot more choppy price action until roughly about that 130 time, right? So here's 130. I bring this up often, and then this is where we really see a strong second deviation, or first deviation breakout rather, and retest and just a ripper, right? So very interesting. Let's take a look at Dow. Yesterday they were weak and had sold off and never regained their previous high for that day. And here we can see that we completely regained. Look at that consolidation pattern right on previous high of day for the Dow, and then immense buying. So they saw the same kind of buy pattern in the morning session that SPY saw. We get that same retest right at session TWAP, and away we go, right? Now, it is choppier here. We kind of channel for much of the rest of the day, but I mean, still ended up at a very great high price. If you were in anywhere around here, obviously you did pretty well today. So let's go look at the Russell. Okay, Russell saw a little bit of a different day. So we are seeing a little bit more oscillation around TWAP. Mid caps are struggling, and we had a gap down below previous day's TWAP, session TWAP, and that weakness was not really recovered until that immense buy towards the end of the day. So the Qs pumped, SPY pumped, Dow's really taken off. Maybe that last push that we saw today in the market was actually the Russell and all the names within there, those smaller caps starting to finally get the buy. One thing that I did see today that was very surprising was we had all this strength in buying on SPY. I'm going to switch back to SPY here, and I'm going to put the metrics table down on MIT. So already we're seeing a very good move for SPY here. I mean, even with this buying that we have, we got a $2.50 move at the highs, $3 move, right? That's a good day. And I noticed that the ad was only at 650. So 650 stocks in the New York Stock Exchange are seeing advancement in price, but SPY is already making this incredible move. Even by midday, at this point, SPY has made such an incredible move of almost $5 $4.50, we'll call it, there's still only 1,000 stocks in the New York Stock Exchange that are seeing advancement. So I would expect with this kind of move, we'd be seeing a lot more of that New York Stock Exchange just seeing an immense buy. The volume is impressive. The volume is impressive, and trend is showing that imbalance. It's giving the room. It's saying there's plenty of room to run to whatever direction. Puts and calls is really low, and the volatility is still really low. So that was another surprising thing, is we're not really seeing any spike in volatility. It's just a big old buy, lots of volume. But yeah, it was very interesting to see the fact that the ad wasn't really showing a full market rip. So there's something to think about. But let's go look at the raw charts here. So looking at tick, I mean, we're not going to see much that doesn't already make sense given we've looked at the charts in MIT. But again, so oscillation, we can see that with the average closures, very little candles in the bearish area down here, right? So we see a couple, but we are seeing so much highs, lots of closures at the end of the day. So all this makes total sense. And here's trend. Perfect. This is what I want to see for a bullish day. All this traffic for a trend staying down here in the strong bullish zone. We see this fat rejection right here towards the open. I really botched this box, but yeah, we see this, and I mean, we just never come back, right? So these previous days, you look at like this one, we got these rejections here, and here. We're teetering around. In previous days, we've seen this kind of mess, right, where we're just all over the place, not really deciding anything. That's very annoying when you're trying to use trend to trade the market. So in this case, we're seeing a phenomenal bullish example here. This is exactly what I want to see. I mean, this flatness even is fine because we're in the strong bearish bullish area, and we're not making any kind of movements up back in towards balance. So perfect. This one here is the ad, and there's not much to say here. So again, like I said, it's surprising that we had very little only about half of the New York Stock Exchange showing advancement. Again, New York Stock Exchange is around 2,000 plus stocks. And by the time SPY had already made an incredible move, when we are over balance and ad, we're not in that upper, bullish, possibly overbought area. Now, that being said, you can see where we started today is at lows, right? Below balance in that bearish area. So this gave us a ton of room to run. So we had an immense amount of room on the upside to bring in such a price on the indices. But it's still a little bit odd to me. It feels like perhaps there was some skew in the data, but I'd have to go look at the heat maps to really see what sectors were, lighting up today so early that brought us such an immense buy on the indices. Maybe we can take a look at a couple big names behind SPY for the top holdings. Wow. Okay. So here's the here's the VOLD. Need I say any more? If you've watched any of my other videos, you already know what you're looking at. This is incredible. We started at a balance on the volume. We cleared this previous level. Hilariously, we retested and struggled right there for a brief moment and then just said, see you later. That's incredible. So now we've got an incredible volume day to the upside on the advancing stocks, and we've got an incredible move on SPY itself. What does that mean? I'm not sure. I really think we're overextended, but I can't let that bias run any of my trade plans. I think shorting, that's up to you if that's something you can manage the risk for that. But even though Volt is at an extreme high for the day on close, so is SPY. So I think tomorrow we're just going to take it as is. With this kind of buy, I know like what my gut would say is expect some pullback, but I feel like every time I've said that, they just buy more. So, stay safe out there. And if you're going to go counter trend, hopefully you've got the tools and the risk management available to you that will allow you to do that safely for your capital. Let's take a look at Apple here real quick. Apple, yeah, I mean, they saw goodbye, but mainly oscillated. Yeah, some good trades. They landed up on the day. I think their total value here saw about a $6 SPY. Apple was not even $2. So interesting. So it's not there. Okay, Microsoft had a fantastic day. Nvidia, I know, had seen some pullback. Okay, they're kind of flat, but they ripped yesterday. SMH as a whole, let's look at chips. Yeah, that doesn't really excite me that much. What about finance? Let's look at XLF. XLF had a good day. XLU, look at utilities. Not much exciting here. Okay, well, folks, there's not a whole lot to say other than just immense buying. I hope you took some advantage of it today. Absolutely incredible. For me, anyways, the market internals provided immense clarity. I nailed every entry that I had today. And I have some videos coming out that will give you a strategy that I've developed that have really assisted me in completely automating a lot of my trades and managing the risk so that I don't even have to watch. So I'm really excited to display that and demonstrate that for you all, anybody that's watching this channel. And as always, if you have suggestions, reach out in the comments or in TradingView on my profile. And stay safe, happy trading, and thank you for watching.